Hey everyone, it's Lovestar. Welcome back. I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is really important. If you are an artist, I think this is really going to resonate with you. If you are not an artist, but you have hobbies or interests, which I'm sure most of you guys do, I think this will also resonate with you. I've realized that there's kind of like two problems currently going on the internet. Just two. We only have two problems, that's it. I'm just kidding. But there's two problems that I've noticed that have made me think. So one of them is that artists, like visual artists, musicians, anyone who posts their art online kind of deal with this problem lately where it feels like every single social media we try to post our art on is very hostile towards us. And platforms like TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, like all these platforms, they make it really hard for us to just share our art and actually get our names out there. And it's because there's always like this stupid algorithm, or like your posts are getting suppressed, it's not being shown out, like your followers aren't even seeing your posts, like it's just all this crap basically because of algorithms and stuff. And also just because it kind of just feels like social media is a not very artist friendly place nowadays. And unless you have a very tight knit community of other fellow artists, it's really hard to just kind of exist in a nice environment on social media, especially when you're trying to grow as an artist. Maybe share your products, share your art, share your commissions, or just post because you want people to see your art. It's difficult nowadays. The second problem that I've noticed is a talking point that I've seen a lot here on YouTube lately, and that the internet feels like it's becoming very stale, or almost like it's dying. And when I was first seeing these videos being recommended to me, I was like, what are you talking about? The internet isn't dying, like we're still here using it. But then I watched a few of those videos and it kind of made me think, like, okay, maybe they're onto something. Because I don't really think the internet is ever going to fully die, but I can definitely see that things are changing. And I think a big reason for this is due to all the AI nonsense that's going on lately. And I'm just gonna say straight up my opinion on this. When it comes to art and I don't think that mixes. Art is for humans, not for machines. I think it should stay that way. This is a very nuanced conversation. We're not going to get into that, obviously, but that's just basically my overall opinion. Yeah, now that the internet is kind of full of this AI garbage, like you can't even scroll on any social media for more than like 5 minutes before you see some sort of AI trash. And when I see AI art, which I like to call AI images because to me they're not art, I don't feel happy. I don't feel good seeing that stuff. Even if it looks good, it's still just clogging up space because that post could have been a real piece of art from a real human, a real artist. And instead, I'm looking at computer generated trash. It doesn't feel good. So, what do we do now? What do we do in this weird state of the internet where artists are really unhappy because we don't really have anywhere to go that's like a nice environment for us to post our art on, and everyone else is just left dealing with this weird state of the internet where everything is just AI and it feels like just a big giant ad, or it's weird now. So I was thinking, what can we do? My recommendation to you is going to be to make a website. Now, let me explain. Because I actually was originally going to make this video about just for an artist point of view, like if you're an artist, why you should have a website. But I also think that everyone can benefit from this. And I think that's because, okay, so I saw this video about why the internet feels weird or different or stale now. I'll put the video up on the screen so you can go check it out if you want. And one thing that they mentioned is that back in the day, during like the Wild West, era of the internet, everyone was visiting all these random ass websites that were made by just random people, and they were just super one-off, really random. They usually had some sort of novel little thing on it that people were like, ooh, this is cool, let me go check it out, right? And the website looked like complete garbage, and it served no like monetary function. It was just completely useless in the grand scheme of things, but it was fun. And it like gave you a little bit of joy because you could just go to some random website and like see some cool pictures or play some fun flash game, or you know what I mean? It was just like so simple but so enjoyable. And that's the one thing we don't really see nowadays, isn't it? All we see now is like the same 5 websites that are all going downhill anyway. So why not just bring back those websites? During this whole weird period of the internet where nothing is really making sense anymore and we're just kind of dealing with this transitionary state of what are we going to do with all this AI, right? Why don't we just create our own space where we can exist and filter out everything we don't want? This includes AI, algorithms, and just literally anything you don't like. And what do you have left? Everything you do like. I think creating a personal website for yourself is super beneficial nowadays. I'm going to tell you my experiences on why I created my website and why I think you should too. And this goes definitely primarily towards artists, but also I think for anyone who has a hobby or an interest, as I said earlier. I just think it's such a great thing to have on the internet because it's your own personal space where you can really be in control and it can exist in whatever state you want it to. If you want it to be just a gallery for your artwork, or maybe like a place to have all your music albums or your photography or just like random facts about your favorite animals or literally anything, it can literally just be whatever you want it to be. And then when you get tired of that thing, you can always change it, right? And that's the thing with social media, is that once you pick a niche, it's very hard to change that. You're kind of like trapped within one thing. And this is something that I've definitely experienced when I was posting my art on Instagram, and well, mainly I was just like an Instagram artist. That's where I would mainly post my art to kind of grow my community and following. And it was very, very just, God, I hated it honestly because everything felt so disingenuine. And I was always like experimenting with my art style, trying new things, learning new techniques and stuff, and that made my art look pretty inconsistent. And I was always trying out different styles and stuff. So whenever I wanted to change or do something new, I felt like I couldn't, because then I knew that, it wouldn't be shown to the right people anymore, and then I would have to deal with like the algorithm being confused, like, oh, my followers don't like this, blah blah blah. It's like such a big mess to try to do anything outside of your usual thing, which is so stupid because as humans we're always changing anyway. So why should we stick into our box that the algorithms are putting us in? And I'm saying algorithms because obviously every social media that we go on nowadays are run by algorithms that really do control like who sees our posts, and ultimately the success of our artwork. Basically, if you're an artist trying to grow your community, or you're a small business owner trying to get new people to see your products or whatever you're selling, it's really hard because unless you already have this huge following, it's really hard to pick yourself up and like get the ball rolling, especially with algorithms, because they force you to play their game. On Instagram, you have to post reels or you won't grow. On TikTok, you have to do obviously the trends, pick the right audio, and I don't really know much about TikTok, but that's kind of how I felt for the very brief moment where I was trying to post my art on TikTok, is that I would have to follow stupid trends that I don't give a crap about, pick audio that I really don't like, but I have to because it's like trending or whatever. And it's really hard to do these things because this is not like who I am as a person. I felt very disingenuine to myself and my followers when I was trying to grow my account, because you have to follow trends and do what the algorithm wants you to do. You can't do what you want to do. And that's really just so backwards. We're artists, we want to make art the way we want to. This is the reason why I think having your own website can be so helpful as an artist, especially if you're really just kind of tired of being on social media, because I definitely am. The only social media I'm a part of now is, YouTube, and I do post on my Instagram like just every once in a while, but I mainly have it just so people can DM me if they want to reach out to me. Other than that, I don't care about Instagram or any other social media. I never even scroll through my home feed or anything because I only follow 4 accounts and they're cat accounts. So as you can see, I'm definitely not a social media person. I don't give a crap about it anymore, but I used to be. I used to play that game, and ever since I made a website, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna delete all of my accounts because they're not serving me anymore. I just post all my stuff on my website now, and although, yes, it is a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how to set up a website, especially if you want to make it more like customized and really like the way you want it to be. It is a bit more difficult, but there are so many free or cheap options out there for like hosting platforms or services that can set up a really quick website for you, and then you can just customize it however you want. And I definitely recommend you give it a shot anyway. It is a little bit more hard than setting up a social media account, but honestly, I think it's so worth it because when you're on social media, all you get is profile picture, banner, bio. Like that's the most customization you get besides just your posts. But on your website, the sky is the limit. Like really. Well, you can really make it however you want, and it really reminds me of like MySpace profiles. Now, I wasn't really like on the internet when MySpace was a thing, but I've of course like seen screenshots and people talking about it, and it does really remind me of having a MySpace account because you can just customize the entire thing however you want. And as artists, I think we really love customization. I sure do. So I was like super happy to do that for my website and just really make it my own space. And I kind of see websites as like a blank canvas that you can customize and paint on, just do whatever you want on it. And that really drew me in. Like seriously, when I put down all the groundwork for my website, like all the main menus and pages that I wanted to include, I went crazy with the customization. I would spend hours like putting everything together, making it look all nice. I mean, it's pretty tedious, but very, very, very fun. It does take a while, but I seriously loved the whole experience so much. And it just feels like an ongoing art project. I love it. It's seriously so much fun. Yeah, I just think that that's also something that we really should have more on the internet. It's just like a place where we can really customize our page and show people who we are. You know what I mean? This is what we need right now because everything is so stale. It's true. Everything feels so samey. Like, seriously, what is even the difference between like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? Like, there is really no difference. They don't stand out anymore. They're all just places where people post nonsense, really. At least with your own website, you can really make it like whatever you want, and it's very curated and specific. Like when you go to my website, you're gonna see art and Minecraft stuff basically. And if I go to someone else's website, maybe I'll see like their photography portfolio or something. Like it's just so cool to see what other people are making out there, not just like some sort of rage bait Twitter like nonsense freaking brain rot TikTok, like all this stuff I don't care about. It feels so just, it like fries my brain where I can't even like watch those brain rot videos or anything like that. Like I'm so tired of it. I just want to see people being creative, having fun, engaging with their interests, being humans for God's sake, and not like posting AI slop. Like, oh my god, I'm so tired of it. I'm so freaking tired of it. So please make a website. Like, oh my gosh, show the world what you have to share. And I really do hope that this convinces you to make one for yourself, because I seriously feel like everyone should have a website nowadays. I feel like if we all, instead of like sharing a social media account with someone, we could give them a website in addition to that. Like, hey, check out my website if you want to see like whatever I'm working on, or just photos of me, or, you know, literally whatever. Like, it literally will tell you so much about that person. And I would 10 times rather see someone's website than like their Instagram account, honestly, because then I would know they actually put in time and effort into making something truly unique, truly their own, and for the sole reason that they actually wanted to share their passions, or to share something silly. Like, it can be literally whatever, but it just really does show you a lot about a person, what they would put on this blank canvas. I remember one time I was watching a video about a girl who recently like made a website, and I think maybe she deleted her social medias or something. And I was so excited because I just don't see it that often where people also have a website. And I watched this video and I immediately clicked on her website and just looked through the entire thing. I was so fascinated because it was just so cool to me. Like, damn, you really put all this effort in to show people like your, I think she had like poems on there and her photography, and it was just so cool. So cool. And I got to learn a lot about this person and their creativity and their interests and what they love to make without having to scroll through some freaking social media account. It was awesome. I would love for more people to engage in this like activity and just create their own personal space on the internet, your own little corner. Isn't that so awesome? I think it's really awesome. I don't know if I'm like being persuasive enough or anything. I'm not gonna make like a top 10 reasons why you should make a website, but seriously, like I just feel like this is what we need on the internet nowadays. I just hope to see it more often. So if you have a website, leave a comment. I will check it out. I think the one thing I'll say though, as kind of like a con, is that it is a little bit difficult to grow when you have a website. Like say you're an artist like me and you want to start your commissions and you don't really have like a big following or anything. You have maybe like 300 Instagram followers or something. And if your main goal to be online is to grow your commissions and like have more people commission you, you're going to need a following for that, obviously. Like it's really hard to get clients if you're not like kind of out there, you know, and people can actually consistently see your work. In this case, yeah, I think that's kind of like the one downside of having a website, is that if you do have the intention of like making money with your art, or you know, starting your business or any of that stuff that requires like a following, a website is not going to help you that much if you don't already have an established following. For example, for me, I have my Minecraft YouTube channel, which has 30,000 subscribers currently. So if I want people to see like my post on my website, I can be like, hey guys, check out my website post, whatever. And then maybe like a few people will click on it, right? But if you don't have anywhere to kind of shout about it, then it's like you can't really grow, right? So in this case, if you are specifically looking to grow, and you need like a following, I would recommend at least still having like some sort of social media where you can kind of use it as a way to promote your website. So maybe you can just like have a little Instagram account where you post your art, maybe you can grow, and then, you know, bring your followers over to your website, like, you know, promote it here and there. That's what I would do, and that's kind of what I do, I guess, because I do have my YouTube and my Instagram, and sometimes I'll like link people to my website posts. But honestly, if I could, I would honestly just have like my YouTube and my website and like that's it. But of course, like that's not how it works. It's not that easy. Like you do, as an artist, need to have like a following if you want to make money off of your art or anything. And this goes obviously for other types of like businesses, like if you have music business or photography business, woodworking, anything like that, right? It's important to have like a following. So if that is your goal, have something else, like a Reddit account, Pinterest account. It doesn't even have to be like a social media. It can be like freaking just posting your stuff on Pinterest and hoping you'll get some clicks off there. But yeah, I would still recommend having something. But if you don't really care about any of that, and if you kind of want to be online just for kind of like the creativity aspect of it, I definitely think having a website is like your best bet. Because you don't have to worry about all the nonsense, all the other stuff that social media kind of forces you into, like trends, algorithms, like all this nonsense, and like also just engaging with people who are not really kind. That's another problem with social media, is that some people are just seriously so rude, and they can honestly ruin your entire experience on being online. And I think if you're dealing with that, definitely don't engage. Like you don't have to be on social media. You're not going to be really missing out on that much. Like I don't ever feel fear of missing out from like not seeing whatever is trending on TikTok or whatever, or missing like what current meme is going on. You know what I mean? Like it's just really not that important, especially if it's causing you like especially if it's causing you distress being on social media, which I know is super prevalent, because social media does kind of make you feel bad sometimes, and like it can be minor, like you just kind of feel drained, or it can be pretty intense and damaging to your mental health. And I definitely don't think we should be putting ourselves through that sort of experience just for the sake of being online, you know what I mean? So I think having a website can definitely be a good like middle option, where you are not completely offline. You can still give people your website as like your kind of like profile on the internet so they can learn more about you, but you don't have to be like completely off the internet, off the grid, where no one can access anything about you. But definitely, if you feel like that would be better for you, I would still consider that as a good option, just like not being on social media at all. But yeah, I think just having a website as an option or alternative to having a social media is such a great idea. And I just really wish it was more common. Like, I really wish more people had websites. I remember my best friend one time, for a while, they had a website where they would post their art, and like they had like a little shop or something, and like some information about their OCs. So pretty similar to what I do on my website, which by the way, I will show you in a second. And I remember just loving to see that website, because I could just like read about their characters and all the information they put on there, and like it was just awesome. Like I can just go to this link and see more about you. Like, it's just so awesome, so cool. And I don't think that website exists anymore. They might have taken it down, but I don't know. I just want to see more of it, so please, if this can be assigned to you, please make a website and share it with people, because I swear, like, the more tired we get of social media and like the current state of the internet, I feel like this is going to be our saving grace. If not altogether, just not not being on the internet anymore, which I think is just kind of really hard to avoid at this point, because everything exists on the internet, which is why I don't think the internet is ever going to die necessarily, but I definitely think it's going to be changing. I don't really know how all this AI stuff is going to affect things in the future, but right now I think we all can agree that things are not looking great, especially from a human creativity standpoint. So let's bring back the old school way of the internet, I guess. Let's bring back the MySpace days, where we just have this crazy looking page where we can just be ourselves. I think we need that. So yeah. And now, if I have convinced you to make a website, maybe you'd like to take a tour of mine and you can get a little bit inspired on what you can do with your own website. Because sometimes the only issue is we don't really know where to start. Now, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to make a website, because I am not an expert, but I'll just give you the basic information. I have my own domain, which I definitely recommend you get your own domain so you have ownership over your website, and not give your ownership to like some third-party service. In this case, if you want to just have a very, very, basic website where you don't have to learn that much or put in that much like effort or skill into, which is totally fine, maybe you can try something like card.co, which I've had for a while. It was actually really good. Or, have like a Wix site, or Squarespace or whatever, like one of those like pretty simple website hosting options. But if you want to be a little bit more advanced, I guess, then definitely get your own domain. And I don't really know that much about websites in terms of building them. I'm not a programmer or anything, website builder. So definitely have to look up some YouTube tutorials if you want to get down into the details. But I will show you my website just for some inspiration, and so you can see how I, as an artist, use my own website. So this is what the homepage looks like, and I just have like a little welcome message. Welcome to my world. Discover my art process and Minecraft creations, because I picked basically two themes for my website, and that is basically to share my Minecraft stuff and my art stuff, and I guess my OC stuff, which is kind of hand in hand with my art. So if you scroll down, you get kind of like the main three featured links, I guess. So you can go to the Astroverse portal, which takes you to basically the homepage for all of my OC related stuff. Over here you can browse my art tutorials, which I don't have that many of right now. Or you can explore my digital sketchbook, which I think is pretty cool. I'll show you that in a second. And if you scroll down more, you can view my shop. So this is where I have all my art stuff. Print stickers, blah blah blah. I have my commissions here, and recent posts. This basically just updates whenever I make a new blog post, which I think is pretty cool. And you can join the Love Club, which is my email list. I don't send emails. You can join if you want, but you're not gonna get any emails. It's just there for why not. So I was going to make like a little fun email listing where I give you guys some like exclusive content every month or so, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But anyway, so yeah, let's go to the menu bar here and we'll check out each part of my website. So we have my shop, which you can click on here and just go to the home page, or you can click on one of the drop downs. You can go to like my commission sheet or my clothes and accessories. So yeah, just very simple where I sell my art basically. Then we have my art gallery. So you can click here to view my own personal art gallery. This is where I have all my, favorite artworks. And over here is my fan art gallery. So this is where I feature all of my fan art that I've gotten from my amazing fans. Check this out. Freaking love this. So if you have any fan art you want to send over, you can email me or you can DM me on Instagram and I will have it featured here. So yeah, this is like my favorite part of my website because I just love looking at everyone's art. It's so cute. And over here is my blog. So this is where I have like my illustration posts. So this is where I just post about my finished artworks and kind of just explain like my process, my inspirations, or just whatever I want to talk about when it comes to like my finished artworks. Then we have my sketchbook, aka my digital sketchbook. And this is where I post about my work in progresses and just kind of write about like whatever, when it comes to my art. So in this one, for example, I wrote about kind of like my what I didn't like about some of these artworks and like just my art process and stuff like that. So yeah, and then over here is my art tutorials, which is very self-explanatory. So over here is the Astroverse. This is the name of my OC like universe. So we have original characters, which I don't really have that much stuff here yet, but it's a work in progress. And then over here is where I write about my different dimensions. So yeah, this part of my website is very much still kind of new. I don't really have that much going on here, but I definitely want to write more. Like I want to make some posts about like some of the stories that I've written about my characters and stuff like that. And just kind of like telling you all about my OCs. And then over here we have Minecraft. So this is just my posts about Minecraft. I sometimes like to write little blog posts about them. Like these are kind of like little tours of this Nyan Cat house that I made. And then in the bottom, I included some links to different like Nyan Cat theme stuff. And over here is the peculiar history of Nyan Cat, which by the way, did you know that the original version of the Nyan Cat song was originally sung by Hatsune Miku? I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is the fun little things you can include on your website, just random little fun facts, writing about your interests, like having a little Minecraft house tour in screenshot form. It's just so much fun and super fulfilling to me. And then finally, I have a little about me page. Oh, where is the picture? No! Okay, I fixed it. So yeah, here's my about me page and oh, these are not fixed. I was supposed to make these in the center. Whoopsies. So yeah, I always have to like make small little adjustments to my website, as you can see. So it's a very big like work in progress still, even like after I think I've had this website for already like a year. And I'm still adding on to it obviously and like fixing little things like this. So yeah, just my links, my email, and that's about it. So that is all the content on my website pretty much. And if I ever wanted to add like a new section here about like maybe some other interest of mine, I could do that. And I can write about like whatever I want. And it's just it's so fun. Like seriously. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm just screaming into the void and like I don't really know if every single one of my posts is being like read by anyone other than me, I still really enjoy it. I think it's so much fun. So I think it's probably the most like creatively fulfilling thing I've ever done on the internet. And I think it's just so reminiscent to like the old school Wild West days of the internet, which I was never even truly a part of. But if we could have some sort of like little revival of that, and like all the artists band together, make their own websites, and just have fun for the sake of having fun, being creative, being a human, and not giving a crap about what all these freaking corpos and algorithms and like freaking Facebook and whatever, all that stuff, what they think. I would love that. We should do that, please. All artists, make your website. Whatever, even the most simple little thing, little simple card.co, just do it. I think it's super fun and very, very fulfilling. I think it's always important to be moving forward and not always like being stuck in the past with like nostalgia and whatever, and like accepting when things are better, you know, in the present than they were back then. But sometimes things really were like better back then, and I think sometimes we need to just take the old and make it new and make it better, you know what I mean? So I think this is our chance. Now that everything is just really displaced, especially with us artists, we all feel pretty displaced now with AI and everything like that. So having a website is kind of like our way of saying you and just doing whatever we want and just, you know, not engaging with freaking social media, just having our own place on the internet that we own, you know? If you decide to make a website, please share it and tell everyone about it. Like literally just be like, hey, check out my website, check out my website. Like, I made this cool thing, check it out on my website. And I swear to you, there will be people that are interested in that, because literally whenever I see a cool creative person on the internet, I'm always looking for their links. And if that's just a social media account, cool, I'll look through your posts. But if it's a website, I'm gonna be on there. Like, I'm literally gonna be like, whoa, like that is so freaking cool. Like, dude, I'm not kidding you. I watched a YouTube video of that girl who made a website, and I was reading all her poems. I didn't know a goddamn thing about this person. I just cared because they put in the freaking time to be creative, to be a human, to share their interests and their loves and their passions. And that is what I love. That is what I want to see. I know that sounds super cheesy, but it's true. Like, this is just how we are as artists. Like, we need to be creative. We need to encourage other people to be creative, especially now. I guess that's all I really had to say. I know this was like a super rambly video. I've been thinking about this for so freaking long, especially since I've had a website for so long now. And even though I like, you know, it does feel kind of like you're on your own, it's just so much more rewarding. Like, seriously, even though I don't get any likes or any comments or whatever like that, it's just nice to post. It's just nice to just say, hey, internet, like, look what I made. And like, yeah, sometimes people won't see it because you're like a little independent like website. But sometimes people will. And sometimes that could inspire them to make something of their own. And I think that's wonderful. So yeah, in this time of weird AI slop and internet going stale and dying, expiring, we should take back control and do our own goddamn thing, because that's what we're designed to do as humans. We're designed to be creative, to connect, and in real, genuine ways. I think art is one of the main ways that we connect to each other, so let's freaking make some more art, right? Yeah, anyway, God damn it, I'm passionate about this topic. Please make a website. But yeah, I guess that's all I had to say, once again. But yeah, thank you so much for hearing me out about this. I hope I was able to convince you, and if not, that's okay too. But yeah, even if you don't end up making your own website, at least check out other people's website and just see what they have going on, because I always find it really fascinating. And I'm definitely more likely to get like interested in a person if they have like their own little corner on the internet where they, you know, share their stuff. And I just love seeing what other people are making out there, especially when I know it's actually real, you know? So yeah, that is it for this video, and I hope I was able to keep you company while you were doing whatever you were doing. Be sure to subscribe if you want to hear more about artist stuff. I don't know. I'm just an artist. I talk about art, and I play Minecraft if you want to check that out too. Also, check out my website, link down below, which I already showed you the whole thing, but I mean, it's always nice to see it for yourself, right? But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I will see you all later.